That's what they did tonight.
You know, when I looked at this offense over the past couple of months, I thought one of the best things, and I don't mean the best thing for C.J. Stroud, was to be concussed. But while he was concussed, one of the best things that he could have happened to him was watch Davis Mills take this offense, not turn the football over, not have to play like Superman, let the defense hold teams to 18 points, and just go out there and play clean, efficient football and see that you can win the game in this new offense. First-year offensive coordinator in Nick Caley, right? And it wasn't really working early on. Davis Mills comes in, wins 3 games, and then what do you see out of C.J. Stroud? He didn't turn the football over. He didn't have to play like Superman, like he did his rookie season when he set the world on fire and played one of the best rookie quarterback seasons we had seen up to that point. But then you started to see a little bit of regression after those 2 big-time plays in the first quarter. You saw the interceptions, and that's what can hurt the Houston Texans if they're not going to be able to get it done on the ground, because they stayed committed to the run game, even though Woody Marks was not able to get 4+ yards per carry tonight. They still stuck with it. I think he had 17 or so carries, even though it really wasn't working. You know what the defense is going to do. You said it 10 out of 10 times, 100 out of 100 times. You know how this defense is going to show up. You can't give the football over to a team like the Chargers, who will take advantage of those opportunities. They are so injured. They're so banged up. And all they need from you is for you to give them the football with a short field and let them kick it. Let them get the short field touchdowns. They got away with one tonight because C.J. Stroud turned the football over too many times.
Yeah, we can quantify that regression. Started 4 of 4 for $142 and those 2 touchdowns, a perfect passer rating from that point on. His final 11 drives, 6 points as a team, 11 of 23, 83 passing yards, and 2 second-quarter interceptions. It's not going to be enough come playoff time, but we continue to dissect what we saw here, and I want to go to all of that attrition that's been dealt to the Chargers, the results that they still get despite that. What do you say about a group that has a quarterback that is hell-bent on doing what he has not before and maybe just doesn't have enough around him right now?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Going to go on the road, which they will in the playoffs, and they want to finally make some noise in the postseason. It's going to rely on Justin Herbert. They're not getting healthier. They're not. So that is going to be the key for all of it. And I don't know if it's going to be enough, because we have seen enough iterations of these Chargers this year, and it's only Justin Herbert.
That was 53 seconds. You said 20.
Well, I had a soapbox, and then I got to the rest of my
There was a period. There was a transition at some point.
I don't do run-on sentences like you, B-Mac.
Yeah, it was good 53 seconds, but well said. But I agree with you. When you look at what we saw tonight for Justin Herbert, because of the injuries, he has to put the cape on. But when you're playing against playoff-caliber teams with really, really good defenses, and they don't have to be as good as the Texans' defense, but just a really good unit, it's a tall task to ask of your star quarterback. And one thing you should never question with Justin Herbert, his toughness.
No.
He is a tough son of a gun. When you talk about all the quarterbacks that we watch every Sunday in the National Football League, he might be one of the tougher ones. Already dealing with a hand ailment, seeing how he's been battered and beaten up over the last few weeks, never complaining, but yet and still running into that smoke week in and week out like he did tonight, because he almost brought them back.
Yeah.
He almost brought them back. In a day where they could not run the football, Omarion Hampton averaged around 2 yards per carry. That's not winning football. Justin Herbert, not only was he their best quarterback, he was their best runner of the football. He led them in rushing. So for Justin Herbert, tonight's matchup was an identical image of what playoff football is going to look like with him. Because of those injuries to the tackles, teams are trying to exploit those matchups. Mike Tomlinson tells us all the time in Pittsburgh, anytime you put questionable or bad tape out for the NFL world to see, be prepared to embrace and see that week in and week out until you get it right. So now when you play against the Los Angeles Chargers, you know their quarterback is elite. You know they have a really athletic, explosive running back. But where we can exploit matchups in our favor is the perimeter blockers, the tackles. And that's what the Houston Texans did tonight, and it made life extremely difficult for Justin Herbert. And because of that, they took one on the chin.
Yeah. And it's a tough one that now locks them into wild card positioning. Denver wins the AFC West in turn. We're trying to get these seats filled in the playoff picture. A 1 seed not yet guaranteed for Denver. Some work to be done there as well. But as the seats fill, you then wonder, what is your role in this grand tournament? And that becomes my question for both of these teams, off the win and off the loss. Houston, what is your role when we look at all the highs and lows of C.J. Stroud? LA, what is your role when we look at all the attrition you've been dealt, and can your quarterback take you there alone, Mac? Are either of these teams more than an in-the-way team come playoff time?
Well, I think by default, I have concerns with the Chargers because, I mean, they're on their third or fourth tackle tandem, you know what I mean? And they had to make a change in tonight's matchup.
O-line pairings in the teens, 15 to 16 different permutations of offensive line for this team this year.
That's tough to overcome in playoff football. I love their coaches on both sides. I love how they compete. I love how well prepared they are. But by default, it's hard to overcome those hurdles at the injury when you have to protect your star quarterback. So I don't trust the Chargers, and I'm not trusting them because they don't have the talent when they're healthy. They're just not healthy.
They're just not healthy.
They're just not healthy, and it's hard to ask Justin Herbert to bail us out every moment in a playoff caliber game.
And so to that point, you know, again, let's call this a playoff-like game, right? You had 3 plays that really kind of changed this game, and you had the 2 big-time, or well, excuse me. You really had 5. You had the 2 long touchdowns, right? The 40-plus yarders. You had the 2 missed kicks. You had Cameron Dicker's 32-yard field goal that he missed.
Uncanny.
And then he missed an extra point. That was the difference. That was 4 points, making Cameron Dicker the first team All-Pro. You're watching at home, you're saying, oh, wow, Brandon Aubrey. And, yeah, he has a big leg. But when you consider that Cameron Dicker was not missing and what he does on kickoff, then he comes into this game. Again, potential first team All-Pro and misses 2 kicks that are really elementary in today's NFL. And then you had the Gadsden tipped ball at the goal line that turned into an interception.
Right before halftime.
Right. So not only are the 4 points that Dicker could have put up there, there was another 3 right there right before halftime. At the very least, if not catch the ball, you got 7 right there. So when Justin Herbert is putting on that cape, everybody else has to do their job. Everyone else has to look at him and say he's playing with a broken hand, and he's leading when he's running the football with that broken hand, going into it and not even caring. And so I have to make my kicks. I have to catch the ball at the goal line. His teammates let him down tonight.
Yeah.
Whether it's hands or feet, scoring plays or what we're talking about, and you got to come away with points, whether 3, 1, or 6 in those instances. You do the math on Dicker's night, that's the difference in this ball game as the Houston Texans take down the Los Angeles Chargers 20-16, and out of it, a playoff berth clinched for the Texans. The Colts eliminated after having their playoff prognostication as high as 98%, a 1 seed sitting 8-2 through 10 games, and here they are, eliminated officially from the playoffs after 5 consecutive losses and tonight's result. And also with this, for the first time in a long time, someone not in red, kings of the AFC West, the Broncos, hats and t-shirts on an off night.